It's pretty common for mothers of newborns to suffer from a bit of the baby blues, but if it gets to postpartum depression, it can interfere with a mom's ability to take care of themselves and their child. In today's Family Focus, we're showing you how postpartum depression can affect the mental health of a baby. Dr. Cheryl Chancellor Freeland joins us now with more. Good morning to you, doctors. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
When do you know that postpartum depression is getting so bad that you have to worry about it affecting your child, or do you even think of that when you're suffering with postpartum?
Yeah, there's a difference between baby blues, what many women experience, and postpartum depression. Baby blues is just normal fluctuations in mood that a lot of women experience. Postpartum depression is a persisting feeling of helplessness, worthlessness, and if it goes on for, I would say, even more than a week, you should talk to somebody about it. And the reason you should talk to somebody about it is because it's amenable to treatment. But left untreated, it can develop into something much more serious.
Do you think women don't want to be treated or don't want to admit that they may be suffering through this because of A, the treatment, which may consist or may not consist of medications? Because a lot of us are breastfeeding at the time. We don't want to take any medications. Or they're just simply embarrassed.
I think there's some stigma attached to being depressed, and women expect to feel joy and elation when they have their babies, and it's surprising sometimes when they don't. And it's actually perfectly natural that some women don't feel elated all the time. They're suffering with, severe sleep deprivation, so, it's hard to feel elated when you're deprived of your sleep. So I think there's the stigma. That's one reason. I think women do worry about taking medication, and it is transferred through the breast milk. But postpartum depression left untreated can have much more deleterious effects than the medication going through the breast milk. So
on your children especially?
On the children, absolutely.
Let's talk about some of the impacts of postpartum depression, impact of postpartum depression on the children. We see on the screen here, one being behavioral problems.
Yeah, I would like just to say a word about postpartum depression, because that's really just a small percentage of the depression that new moms experience. The depression often starts during gestational periods, and it's perinatal mood disorder. It's not just depression, it's anxiety, it's depression, it can be psychosis, it can be a number of things. And these mood disorders, or just profound stress, can have a real deleterious effect. These mood disorders affect the infant's development after birth as a consequence of the interactions between mom and child, but it also affects the baby's neural development in utero. And this is really a very important variable and something we need to pay attention to, and something we've really just started paying attention to. We scientists, and I'm a researcher, I'm a neuroscientist, so I'm very interested in brain development. And clinicians alike, in the last maybe 10 years, in the last 5 years, the research has really been, there's been an upsurge of that. But prenatal effects of mood disorders have a really profound and obviously long-lasting effect on the infant and the, subsequent adult.
Wow, so even beforehand, if you're feeling anxious, because I remember a lot of anxiety, so you feel a knot in your stomach. So even that is affecting the baby.
It has profound effects on the baby's development.
Is it possible then to see a child having behavioral problems, delays in cognitive development, social problems, because of the depressed mood that a mother is in or the anxiety that she's going through?
Yeah, so prenatally, the mood disorders generate certain hormones, and the stress hormones are most deleterious. And that affects what we call the cytoarchitecture of the brain, how the brain wires itself. And it can wire itself in ways that can subsequently lead to cognitive development disabilities. So the child and the adult may have difficulties learning and social disabilities. Problems with the child or the adult interacting with other people, and emotional disabilities. So the child or the adult later on can't regulate their own emotions well, and then you can see where this would just have a cycling effect, so that then when they have children, they're passing it on to their children as well.
Wow, that is so interesting. And sometimes you feel that if you are pregnant or you think or believe, and you're always in a bad mood, or you're mad, that the baby's going to also have that type of personality. Do those two go hand in hand as well?
Well, it does sort of, because you know, that's really kind of simplifying it, but it does sort of, because when a mother is depressed, I'm not talking about a bad mood. I'm talking about a mood disorder that's ongoing throughout pregnancy. And it really depends on when it's occurring as to how the outcome will be. So if it's early in the pregnancy versus mid or late. Not that they don't all have an effect, but they have differential effects. But yeah, if the woman is depressed and if she's got some mood disorders, it will affect the mood of the offspring. And there have been a number of studies that have looked at what happens when a mother is depressed or stressed or anxious during pregnancy to her offspring, regardless of her behavior after the child is born. So there are many levels at which we need to really be mindful about what's going on with the mom. And of course we're interested in the mom, but the effects on the offspring can be really long-lasting and very profound.
In other words, we definitely need to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
It sounds selfish, but we need to take care of ourselves
No, we
first.
absolutely do.
For more information, please go to first5fresno.org, first5fresno.org, and this segment will also be posted on our website, centralvalleytoday.com and kc24.com. Doctor, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Such a great insight.
This is an important topic, and I'm so glad that you're sharing it with your viewers.
Oh, well, thank you for your help, and we will have you back on again.
Thank you.
Okay, Doctor, thank you. Stick around. Central Valley Today. We'll be right back.